How are you tonight? Welcome back to Bucharest.
Very good, very happy. A little bit too jokey. Maybe you should.
Yeah, you can do the jokes. We just balance out things.
Essentially, we're very good.
Very good indeed. Happy to be back in Bucharest. Happy to be back in Romania. And I think we're gonna have a great night tonight. As I usually say every interview.
Let's try something different. It's gonna be a terrible night tonight. There's gonna be lightning, God's coming, aliens, everything. Anything else?
Cut.
So, first of all, can you tell us a bit about the worldwide concept of flying circus? It's obvious that you like flies.
Actually, he likes flies. I hate flies. In fact, we also had this like a few years ago, kind of a long conversation about flies in an interview. But it's nothing to do with flies, funnily enough.
It's about with flying.
It's about.
Yeah, no. Actually,
Think about it. You had a chance to revise what you just said and say something else.
about flying high, flying whatever. Yeah. No, but really, to be serious for a second, the concept of flying circus has been something that actually next year we're gonna have for 5 years, and we started in Miami about 5 years ago, in fact, and thankfully we've been lucky enough because we've been actually cut. So flying circus, it's not cutting, but flying circus. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flying circus has been something. No, I like that.
Flying Circus is a party that we developed about, how long ago was it?
5 years ago.
Yeah, and the idea was that we were on the road, and we just, on the road everyone misses each other by 1 week, and we wanted to hang out with our mates, basically. So we wanted a party that we could invite our friends to be in the same synchronization as us. Nothing more than that. That was the essential.
Yeah, but now, I mean, the difference is the first time we did Flying Circus in Miami, we only did like 2 parties in a year. Now we're doing over 30, and we believe that next year we're going to do even more. We just have a lot of good relationship with the promoters around the world who really want to bring the party around. Great relationship with the artists. They want to come back all the time. And for example, tonight, Nima is the first time that counts, but we've been working with him a few times, and it's definitely exciting to go to different cities and do your own parties. But it's also really hard work, because make sure that you have a relationship with the promoter, with the people you're working with, and with the DJs. So you need to also make sure that you explain to them the concept. And really the concept is the same everywhere in the world, but it depends also from the place you are. Like in places where the sun is shining all the time, we try to bring the party outside. Whereas in places like, for example, Bucharest in the winter, you have to. It's not going to happen because we don't want you to freeze to death, really.
No, I don't want to freeze.
Yeah, exactly. No, they won't. But I mean, and really, we're developing month by month, year by year, with different people. We always have get a different look to the new artists, so try to bring them in all the time, and also work with the artists that we have on our label, Supernature. So every now and then we try to mix it up, big artists, ourselves, and small artists from the label, or like medium artists, whatever. So it's a concept always developing, really. So
and we're really lucky as well, because we kind of got we're kind of nomadic. We don't have any official affiliation to any other big person or big organization. We just travel around and we invite everyone. So it's not like in Cocoon you just get Cocoon, and in Cadenza you just get Cadenza. I mean, you might find anyone playing, as long as they are within our circle of people who are our friends, or we have an association with them and we want to hang, so it could be anyone. Whereas, with any other kind of party, you kind of know exactly what you're going to get. There's never any like, new person, ooh, Lucas Apari, who's he? Ooh, like none of that. Look at the way I'm holding.
Okay, so next question. How do you decide which guest DJs to bring in?
I think we just covered it. No?
Yeah, well, I mean, really, it's about, first of all, the friendship. Second of all, a very important thing is the music that they produce or play, and it's something that we always, because we DJ ourselves, so we try to find a great balance between the deeper stuff, the more techno stuff, the more housey stuff. So really, the thing that we really try to perfect all the time is to get this journey. Say, for example, in Miami, we do 18 hours from 12 o'clock in the afternoon till 5 o'clock in the morning the next day. So we had to program 18 hours of music, and we need to make sure that people stay there for as long as possible. In order to do that, we have to make sure that everyone plays at the right time and the right DJ plays.
But that's kind of that's the major example. That's like our biggest party. But like in a normal session, how we choose the artist is what you said at the beginning. Essentially, you know, it's like it's got to be a friend connection, and we've got to be inspired. You know, I want to be inspired by the guest. You know, I want to see. We brought William and the Côte du Monde to Peru, for example. Just watching him playing blows me away. It makes me want to go back to the studio, and yeah, totally. Great person, you know, someone you want to see again, you know, but then also someone you see them working and you're like, oh my God, I've got to get better, you know, I've got to keep improving, and that's super important to me, you know, so.
Are you open to collaborate in the studio with some of them?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we just did something with James Teach in the studio, who's like one of our Supernature boys. I mean, he's my favorite robot, and he's not one of our boys. He's gracefully on our your favorite robot. And I mean, we'd love to work with everybody in the studio, but a lot of times when you're on the road, you're like, hey, we must work in the studio. Yeah, of course we must. And then, you write my thing, and let's check our Mac calendars, and that never works. And, you know, it doesn't happen that much. It's really hard to coincide again. It's for the same reason that you never see each other on the road. You know, it's the same reason it's hard to get into the studio.
It's all about being like, try and be organic with the people that you work and the people that you travel around with. Like with James Teach was quite easy because he was in Barcelona a few weeks before, and then he decided to come. We spoke to him on Skype and was like, please come and do a track with us, and we collaborate on something. And he came, and he just worked really in a couple of days. We just started a track, worked on it, finished it, and then he left to go and play his gigs in Europe.
Couldn't open the track.
Yeah, well, that's another thing.
2 days on it and then cried.
But they can't hear you without the...
No,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, is that the end of the question? Yes.
Next question.
Yeah. Flying Circus was pretty much everywhere. Which have been your best nights this year? It's a hard question.
I have a bad memory. I can't even remember what happened last week.
Well, Russia was great. Russia's always great. Mexico was last year though. No. We did the Mexico one. We did the Mexico City one with Stacy Poulet. Yeah. Well, there's one that we're looking forward to.
I remember.
It's Flying Circus in Playa del Carmen on the 31st of December, which he's only going to do, but I have to play somewhere else. But it's going to be Anthony, it's going to be Steve Bug, it's going to be Nicholas Jar and Benoit and Sergio. So 2 DJs, 2 live, which I think as a concept, in fact, is great because you get like great music all around, but you get someone live, so you break from the DJ set and then you get a DJ set again. So yeah, hopefully.
I love it because the live only lasts 1 hour and the DJ gets an extra hour. It's like perfect.
But I mean, some waves. Well, we didn't do some waves as Flying Circus, but we did it last year actually, and that was great.
So basically, your memory is as bad as mine.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, well, I mean, that was known fact.
Nice tattoo. What represents?
This is a parrot. It's actually a wood pigeon.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's a phoenix. It's a phoenix. It kind of represents, mythically represents being reborn out of your own crap, basically, or ashes, depending on your perspective. And maybe it represents something that happened in my life, but I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, I won't insist. Do you enjoy more being DJs or producers?
I love both. Yeah. Love both. Sorry, no, both is important. Being lost and consumed in the studio there's nothing like it. Being lost and consumed on stage, there's nothing like it. Being in the studio is great because you don't have to go anywhere. But being on the road is amazing because you're with people and they both have their totally important dualities.
Yeah, one inspires the other.
Yeah, exactly. Although if I had to choose between one and the other, actually I don't know. It's a hard choice. You?
Well, I mean, you will have to choose anyway at one point. So I guess it would be production, because you can't. I don't expect myself.
When my legs aren't working.
Exactly. But I mean, for me, like, I couldn't choose either right now, but I can tell you that DJ's been always like a great passion of mine. And it's not just the DJ, but the searching for music, the search, going on different, like, initially was going to a record shop and searching for music. Now it's going on the internet, going on an internet website and search for music, or go on YouTube and like where it takes you from track to track. It's always like a very interesting thing for me to see how many
search for cables.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's why we balance each other, because we don't have exactly the same taste. I mean,
equally, I love both. I love both the things we do. I wish I could do both more, and I wish one didn't suffer for the other, because one always suffers for the other. When you're on tour, you want to be in the studio. When you're in the studio, you need to be out.
I wish I was a bowler. I wish I was a little bit taller.
Yeah. Who's that record by? I was thinking of this the other day, man. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I had. Come on, somebody in the room. Anyone? No?
Okay, anybody who sees this tomorrow, if
You're a DJ, you work at a music magazine. Okay. There you go. There you go.
Let's talk a little bit about Supernature Records, which is your first venture into a record label. You have major events to support the releases. Have been you thought about signing new artists or expanding it with a sub-label?
Aha, it's so funny you ask. You can deal with all of Supernature essentially. I'll just talk about the new label which we opened. It's not a sub-label, it's like a sister label. We opened something earlier this year, which is supposed to be a bit more tough, a bit more dark even. Supernature, not aggressive. No, aggressive is probably the only word that doesn't need to be included in all of this. The idea is, we want to be able to play in our well, there's several reasons, but one of them is, Supernature is lending itself to a different kind of set, or up until recently it has been, and we wanted to kind of like be able to express ourselves on the dance floor. So we wanted to be able to play the music that we, the tougher stuff that we came from. So we opened Maison d'Etre, which is house to be, or maybe that's one of the translations. And yeah, it's just about that kind of like darker, tougher side, less melodic, more moody and beats, And on the other side of things, Supernature.
Yeah, Supernature actually. We're celebrating 4 years next year as well. So it's going incredibly at the moment. We had some great supports from the people of the business. We have some great artists working with us, and I mean, we keep shifting between different musical styles. We've been like, Supernature's been a great journey, because actually it's taught us how to run a record label, which is not something easy. People think, the first thing you do, it was an absolute nightmare. And actually, to be honest, it's been like a great ride, but also it's been a lot of pain in the ass, to be honest with you, because we didn't know what to do, and we thought that we were going to get into this label and know exactly what to do.
We thought we'd just be music selectors, and that would be it, and that everything else would just be automatic.
But there's a business side of it, there is the marketing side of it, there is employing the right people, making sure that everybody, you delegate and tell what everybody needs to do. So it was a learning curve for us.
And as well, we had to teach ourselves, more than anything, it's like we had to learn how not to ruin our own
exactly
label, because you're running around and you're on the road, and then you want to make important decisions about what needs to happen in the label. You're not in the right frame of mind, and you're a lot of the time we're running on high emotions in our jobs, and a business needs kind of calm emotions, which we realise.
But it's a full-time job, and really, like, even with the second label, because the thing was like separating the label, separating the sounds. So that's the mistake, that I think a lot of people make anyway, but we made, was like to just having too many sounds into one label. So we had to separate, and that's why we created a second label, Maison d'Etre. So now is the best time for us, because
This is Mahoney's phone ringing in the background for the second time. I just thought I'd tell everyone.
Now I lost my train of thought. But yeah, basically now we. What do they want?
Sorry.
And now I lost my train of thought. Check.
He wants to know if we're bringing any new artists in. Then issues the next one. We've got this new artist coming after.
Okay, well, we got this new artist coming out called Denishi. Well, I mean, actually, at the moment, to tell you the whole story, what was going to happen is like we have Solomon is being released like 2 weeks ago. The next one is J.A.'s. We have a very special release by him because he's done a track like 9 years ago, and this track was lost in a fire because he had a fire in the studio. And thankfully, he found again the master of the track, and he made a new edit of it. And he decided to give it, after speaking to him, we want to release from you. He decided to give it to us along with 3 other tracks. And I think it's one of the most interesting releases that we got at the moment because of the story behind it. So, it's doing this, we got this coming out next, it's being promo right now, and then after that we got Denishu, which actually one day I was surfing the internet and I came across this track on SoundCloud, and he just finished it like 2 hours before, put on SoundCloud to get like some opinions, some feedback from people, and I heard and was like, dude, I hope this track is free, and I was like, yes it is, and we signed it right away, and really it's gonna be we think like a big track for us on the label and a big track for him as well. It's very competent, deep but funky at the same time. So, and then
following Jay Hayes and following Denishu, we have Betoko.
Yeah, Betoko, and then.
New artist. Not that. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
No, he's been actually had releases on Get Physical. He had releases on Wow Records, but it's changing the sound exactly. It's now. It's very, probably it's the poppiest record that we ever put on Supernature. Huh? Exactly. But we with Supernature, it's like we keep a line, but we always want to vary from this line. So, I mean, yeah, we do deep house, we do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But this one is different because it's probably the poppiest record we will ever put out. But we need to try this as well. It's just a try. So what do you say? It's just a trial that we're doing for this.
Okay. So basically, the releases are not every month with Maison. The idea is to be more relaxed about it, and just follow good music, good line of music. Normally, you absolutely have to, because you can't run a company without having regularity, so even if you don't feel like releasing a lot of music, if it's a genuine business thing, there's got to be some kind of continuity, economically speaking, of course. And but we don't have that. So after the Luciano essay, which just came out, we've got I can't actually tell you who the artist is because he wants to remain anonymous, but we have this huge artist who even you won't be able to guess who he is, Mahoney. He's already thinking who it is, but it's not going to happen. Basically, his new title is called Just Be, spelled B-E. New moniker, his new pseudonym, whatever, and the artist is underground, but he wants to release because he doesn't want people to associate him with music he's already done. He doesn't want people to buy it for what he already did. He wants people to like it and to buy it and to be on a new label and to, so it's a really purist and altruistic mentality. So that'll be January.
Also, he wants the music to talk. He doesn't want it to be
that's what I mean, yeah.
with anything about the name or like, oh, is this and is that.
And back to you.
No.
Next question.
Audiofly is preparing some new productions.
Yes. Many.
La multi-anni. No, just kidding. Actually, after the album, we took a step back from the studio for a while because we were touring a lot, and we've been like South America, Japan, US, blah 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 blah. You know the story. So actually, we've been back in the studio since November, and we've been fixed in there for like a month, writing new music, and we just finished a collaboration with Robert Owens, which is actually a legend of house music. So we were really honor to do a collaboration.
And we didn't just steal the vocals, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that. But it's a collaboration. It's actually an actual collaboration. And then we did a collaboration also with Big Bulling, who's basically one of the guys who sang on old JS track, which was a classic track as well. And yeah, both of them are like you know, a little bit. We just have been experimenting in the studio, so it's the Audiofly sound, but with a little bit of experiment as well, like trying to see what we could do different, you know.
We just released one on Cocoon, just as a little, you know, addition to the year. It's been released in March, and it's a kind of a slightly darker sound than what we normally do, so it seemed perfect.
And the compilation is called Dots and Pearls.
And we just finished a remix for Get Visible for Tim Green, So In Love With You track. And I shall be writing my memoirs soon.
There are any Romanian producers who impressed you lately? Alina Ser has a very solid EP on Supernature, launched in 2009.
He's got a new moniker called Creative Sense, which is amazing. Super deep, very, very intelligent. Love what he's doing. Who else, man?
Dan and Dre, like I've been hearing a lot of stuff recently, and it's just still keeps the Romanian sort of RPR sound alive, but with new techniques, new details almost. So it's different than what say like Radu and Pedro are doing, and I mean it's not better or worse, it's just different, and I like him a lot. But also the old guards, like you know what Radu is doing at the moment, and what Pedro is doing, actually still very interesting music, super solid. And actually I'm very excited to hear what Alina Ser has to play tonight, so to understand how he's proceeding with his music, you know. My sister, maybe?
My favorite sister? No.
For the New Year's Eve night, you are going to blow up the Blue Venado Beach Club Resort in Mexico. Can you reveal more details?
Well, we've been going and doing Mexico now for the last, 4 years? 5 years? 4 years. And it's like, you can't explain it so much, you know. It's like this little, Blue Venado is like this little protected bay in the middle of the jungle on the beach, you know. The jungle comes all the way up to the beach, and then there's this little tiny bay of golden sand with a sound system in the middle of it, and a kind of a covered thing, and it goes from like 11 in the evening, 10 in the evening on the 31st until 4 p.m. the next day. So it's like it's all about the sunrise. And see, this is the flying circus that we like to do if the weather's good, you know, like somewhere really exotic. And yeah, so this is it, you know. It's a half moon shaped bay in the middle of nowhere. We're expecting about 1,500 people, maybe more. Maybe more the way the ticket sales are going. The ticket sales are insane already. So yeah, it's looking really, really good. I'm just really looking forward to hearing Nicholas Shah do a live, and then I'm really looking forward to just playing all fucking day on the beach. All the day on the beach.
So speaking about tonight, what do you expect?
Well, actually, I heard that the venue is amazing. This is kind of warehouse, really dark and really, you know, different vibe than yeah, totally our cup of tea. So I was just listening to music before to promo, so I was just like keeping all the darker and more like twisted records on the side for tonight. So tonight I think it's going to be great. So until we're there, we don't know, but you can ask me at the end of the night again. But I have a good feeling.